War for the Planet of the Apes is directed by Matt Reeves, who also made the last one, and this one stars Andy Serkis once again as Caesar. We've seen the apes rise to take over humankind, and we've seen a dawn of a new era in which the apes are ruling over the earth, and now we're going to see a war between the last remaining humans and the vastly intelligent apes. This has been a great series so far. I loved Rise, I loved Dawn, and whenever we get to the third entry in a proposed trilogy, I get nervous, because most of the time the third entries aren't as good. It's very rare, very, very rare, that the third entry in a trilogy is the best. I saw this movie a few days ago, and I went home and I thought about it before I turned on the camera, because I wanted to make sure that I was feeling the way I was really feeling. I watched Rise again, because I hadn't seen it in many years, and I watched Dawn again. And I do feel that War for the Planet of the Apes joins movies like Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, or The Bourne Ultimatum as being the best in the trilogy. That's so rare, and this movie floored me. I think it's a masterpiece. I've thought a lot about this, and I honestly can't find a scene, a moment, a line of dialogue even that feels out of place. There is one exposition scene in this movie. One. That was one of the few issues I had with Dawn, was that there was just a lot of expositional dialogue. They have wiped that out almost entirely. There's one sequence between Caesar and Woody Harrelson's character where they discuss the past and certain things that have happened to those characters. And beyond that, this is a bleak and brutal, uncompromising movie that had me riveted from the opening scene to the final one. I loved every minute of this movie. It's jaw-dropping. The motion capture work, it's real. I watched this movie and almost every frame just had me gripped to my seat, just because I was looking at something that I knew was created by a team of incredible professionals who have an insane amount of talent, and it paid off. This is easily the best motion capture work I have ever seen. And Andy Serkis, once again, as usual, is brilliant as Caesar, but it must not go overlooked. The team of people who actually worked on the effects, the animators. My God, these people are geniuses. One of my favorite characters in all three of these movies is Maurice, the orangutan. So great once again here, and again, amazing performances. Pretty much my main issue with these films, at least before this one, was that the human characters were never as interesting as the apes. Whenever they would cut back to James Franco's character, or Freida Pinto's character, or Jason Clarke, or Kerry Russell, I was like, can we just get back to Caesar? Because that's kind of like where the heart of the movie is. War for the Planet of the Apes is almost exclusively about the apes. Woody Harrelson runs a faction of men who are enslaving some apes in sort of a death camp, very Holocaust-like scenario. There's a lot of Holocaust imagery in this movie. But for the most part, we are exclusively following Caesar on a trail of revenge. And the construction of this movie is staggering. What you learn in just the opening scene, like the first few minutes of the movie, basically set up everything you need to know about the film, and it connects back perfectly to the finale. And if you rewatch all three of them in a row, you're going to see a huge overarching story that really works as a whole. And that's what the best trilogies do. It's not just a great film. It's a great addition to the other two. When you watch Rise and Dawn and then War all in a row, it's going to feel natural. I could not be happier with this movie. Matt Reeves directed this film so beautifully. The cinematography, the editing, it's all seamless. Michael Giacchino has made one of his best scores. And the music plays a large part in this movie because there are a lot of sequences of pure silence where Caesar will be like signing to another ape and the ape will be signing back. And all you really have is their performances, the timing of the shots, and that music. And there are also very important moments that set up Caesar's path of revenge, told entirely silent with just music and performance. And it's the definition of epic. There are so many sequences in this movie that made my jaw drop, just from a filmmaking perspective. It's also highly unconventional. When I went into this movie, I was expecting one thing: a gigantic action scene. And you get that, but not in the way you might think. And I, of course, will not ruin it for you, but the film sets up certain beats in the first act. And your brain starts to work as someone who watches a lot of movies. And you think, I know exactly where this is going to go. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I've got it all figured out in my head. And the film doesn't do that. It doesn't give its characters the easy way out. It makes them have hard choices and difficult decisions. And you get to watch the progression of Caesar's character and going from this small chimpanzee in the first film to a hardened leader and to now someone who's struggling with the darker side of himself. And it's completely riveting from beginning to end. As I said, it barely feels like there's a moment wasted. There's a great storyline with a young girl that I thought was really sweet. Steve Zahn as Bad Ape. That's where the film could have gone wrong, because he's kind of a comedic relief character in a very dark film. But I thought he worked great. He was a risk that paid off. Because trust me, whenever a movie is this good, you're going to see all those articles like, top 10 reasons you need to know right now that War for the Planet of the Apes took no risks. Top 10 you need to know, red circle, red arrow. Click this. The character of Bad Ape is a major risk. He really could have tanked many scenes in this movie, but they found the exact right level of emotion to have him on, and I thought he was a great strength to the film. I don't really want to get into aspects of the plot. I'm just going to talk entirely about the filmmaking in this review because I didn't watch a single trailer for this movie. And I'm really glad I didn't, because I knew nothing. And going in blind, it was a beautiful experience. I'm going to give War for the Planet of the Apes an A+. I think this is one of the best trilogies of all time, and it also serves as a good reminder that prequels can sometimes be pretty good. Guys, thank you so much, as always, for watching, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.